Welcome to TAO Dog Yoga. I'm Steph. This is my dog TAO. And for our practice, we will be focusing on our core for us and our dogs. We will be practicing boat pose and the many variations of boat pose. And our dogs will move through a series of their own yoga involving the positions of sit, stand, and down, and helping them to move slowly in their bodies, engage their core, and strengthen their core. Let's get started. Coming to your yoga mat, having a comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall. We'll take a few breaths to center ourselves and signal to our dogs that we'll be practicing yoga. You can invite your dog over to your mat beside you, or if your dog is moving about your space and just enjoying sharing the space with you, that's absolutely fine as well. Coming to your seat, come to stillness. And we'll take 3 deep breaths to begin. As you take an inhale, imagine your breath traveling up from your lower belly through the center of your core, all the way through your rib cage to your heart, up into your throat, and maybe even out and above you, right? This idea of your breath washing up and down. Let's take a big inhale together. Feeling your body rise, and then exhale. Empty the breath out. Let's do that again. Take another breath in. And this time, open your mouth, exhale it out. Good. Third breath, your choice. You can either exhale with your mouth closed or open. Take another deep inhale. Good. And then you can gently close your mouth. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Nice steady breath to support you in your practice. And we'll come right into our variations of boat pose. Your dog can be on your mat with you, or again, if they're in your space, just hanging with you, that's great too. If your dog is on your mat, you'll, as I say, yoga around them. So coming into our first variation of boat, you'll come into your comfortable seat. Could be lengthwise on your mat, sitting up nice and tall. Take your hands and place them right behind your knees on the back sides of your calves. And we'll use that to support us in lifting up even taller. Hold on and then draw your heart up, lengthen your spine from here. Yeah, good. Your gaze is out in front of you. Chin is slightly lifted. Gaze can be a little bit lifted as well. Not looking necessarily up, but out right in front, supporting that length in your spine. From this space, you can feel yourself rooted down through your sit bones, and you can feel your lower core start to engage here. So let's really activate that. Just below your belly button, you're gonna draw your lower belly in. Good. And then keep lifting up nice and tall. You're gonna feel your core start to already work here. Good, so let's take a deep breath in and out. And then you can release. Let your legs come out in front of you. Take a breath in, reach up nice and tall, and then exhale. We'll take a forward fold in between our boat pose here. Let your head drop down. Your upper body is heavy, letting gravity help support you here as you drop your head down. You can have a little bend to your knees. Yep, we're just warming up into our hamstrings. 1 round of breath in and out. And then walking your hands back up, bring your feet back in. We'll set up for our second boat pose. So here, you feel your feet planted, you're holding on, lifting up. All right, let's start by lifting our right leg. Spread your toes nice and wide so your legs are active here. They're gonna help you out. And then switch, bring your right down. Yeah, and you might hover in between switching. You can flex your feet or you can press out through the ball of your foot. Good, and then switch again. Maybe you hover for a moment, switch, right comes up. Let's do that, hover and switch. Good, one more time, switch and switch. Good, and then bringing both feet down, let your legs slide out in front. Breathe in, sweep your arms up. And then exhale, fold forward. You can bring a little bend to your knees. Let your head get heavy here. One round of breath in and out. Good. Walking your hands back up. Good. Bring your legs back in. Finding your boat pose, so holding on, lifting up. All right, and then letting go of our hands here. You can bring your hands out nice and wide. Spread your palms so there's lots of energy in your arms. Just as when you lift your legs and your feet, you're spreading your toes, so there's lots of energy there. Notice as you do this, your core is gonna engage and you might feel your hip flexors engage too. Keep drawing your lower belly in to support you here. Good, and then feel your whole core engage, right? You're shifting your weight back just a little bit. Keep your heart lifted. Good. Lift your right leg up. Good, and then switch. Ooh, we're gonna do that again. Switch, switch, switch. Last one, left side lift. Good, bring just your toes down, hover here. Notice if your heart wanted to drop forward, lift it back up. Yep, good. And then coming out of our boat, let your legs come down in front of you, sweep up, breathe in, and then on your exhale, fold forward, letting your head lead here. You can tuck your chin here and get a nice stretch along the back of your neck and into your shoulders and shoulder blades. One round of breath. Inhale and exhale. Good. Coming into our last variation of boat. So boat, as you warm up, can grow from these variations. Where we began, we had a little more challenge. Now we're going to come into a full boat pose. And even here you have options. So setting yourself up, I always like to set up the same way, having your spine nice and long, core is engaged, supporting you here. And then you're going to lift your right leg and then lift your left leg. You're going to feel your weight shift back. You can flex your feet or press out through the ball of your foot. Good, or it may even feel good to point your feet, right? Just depends on your body. Keep them flexed. Release your hands, full boat pose. Again, you can take any of the other variations in this. All right, and then straighten your right leg. Ooh, straighten your left leg. Good, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, land on 1. Awesome. Let your legs come out. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Let it all go. Let your body drop down. Head drops, big stretch all along your hamstrings, along your spine. You can feel the back of your neck there. Take a long, deep inhale. And then exhale, soften down. And then walk your hands back up. Sitting up nice and tall, you can come back to your seat. Checking in with where your dog is at in your space. TAO has wandered and decided to rest on the side of my room. I'm going to invite her over for our next part of our practice. So checking in with your body, noticing any shifts in your body from when you first began our practice, noticing any heat, maybe your heart rate picked up a little bit, right? Continuing to stay calm using your breath as we work with our dogs. All right. With this, you're going to want to have some kibble or treats for your dog. So you can run, if you don't have those right next to you, run and grab some. And you can put about like 10 in your hand. And when we move into yoga with our dogs, we want to think of slow movements, just like we do in our yoga, really slow, thoughtful movements. And that's going to help our dogs strengthen their bodies. As we move through these, come here, TAO. Good girl. As we move through these poses with our dog, or I should say positions with our dog, we want them to move slowly. So your dog probably knows sit and down and maybe even knows to stand, but we want them to move nice and slow and be thoughtful of how they do it. So let's do this together. Invite your dog over. You can grab 10 treats, small little treats or little pieces of kibble. And you can hold them in your left hand, and then with your right hand, you'll just take one piece, put it on your dog's nose, and lure your dog over to the mat. And then you can ask them to sit by bringing the food up, and you can tell them verbal sit. Good. I'm going to kneel with TAO, but you can stay standing with your dog if you'd like. Good. So moving through some sits and downs and stands with our dog. So having your dog come into their sit. Now moving through a down, even if your dog knows it on a verbal, we're going to use a food lure to help them do it slowly. So TAO's nibbling at the food. You're gonna bring your treat straight down. Good, so your dog's in a down position. Good, something we don't do a lot in dog training, but this is TAO Dog Yoga where yoga meets dog training, so we're gonna throw a little dog training in. We're gonna place the food on our dog's nose. We're gonna teach our dogs to come back up into a sit from a down. So food can go on your dog's nose, one piece, and you're gonna draw it straight up and towards them, helping them into the sit. When they get there, you can tell them good job and feed. Let's practice that again. One treat on your dog's nose. Good, ask them to lay down, 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 down. Good. Good, and they can have one piece for that, and then one piece on your dog's nose, you're gonna lift up. Good, back into a sit. From here, we'll work on stand. Food on our dog's nose, and then bring the food directly out in front towards you. Good. Good, so food in a stand stays level with our dog's nose. If we bring the food up, they're gonna go into a sit. Sit, good. If we bring food down, they go into a down. Good. We bring food down, back up. You can do a sit with your dog. And then here, bring the food level with their nose, stand. Awesome. Let's give our dogs a little bit of a break here, just like we took our little break in our practice. So you can take a little piece, tell your dog free. Good. I'm going to have TAO come back over and lay down, so you can ask your dog to lay down for a moment. You may have run out of your treat, so we can reload. And the biggest thing about what we're doing is having our dogs move nice and slowly. When our dogs move slowly, they're using their core. So as the food comes up and TAO's nose goes up and she goes into that sit nice and slow, she's engaging her core and moving slowly, just like we did in our boat. When she's coming into the down nice and slow, she has to move her body, slide her back legs out, use her core, be really thoughtful coming from that center place. Same with a stand. If your dog is in a down or a sit and they move into a stand, they're gonna call upon their core to kind of collect themselves and go, oh, and pull themselves up. So that's why we want to move slow. If we use momentum, our dogs are more moving on movement and momentum, not as much their core. So they'll use other parts of their body. So that's why we're moving nice and slow. Even though TAO knows sit down and stand with no food, I'm using it here, just a little piece for each position to help her get where she needs to be. So let's do another few with our dogs. It might be helpful if your dog is too close to you or you need to get them back into their position on the mat. Take a piece of food. I'm just going to tell TAO free and she can go get it. Then I'm going to take this hand. I'm going to catch TAO. Good. And right away I'm going to work her into a stand. So you can have your dog stand. We can feed 3 little pieces of treats or kibble to our dogs in a stand. That also helps strengthen their core. This is like our dogs holding plank pose. Good. Treat on your dog's nose, nice and slow. Go up. You can tell them to sit. Good. And then check out your dog. Are they sitting straight? Are their legs kind of kicked out? You just want to notice that. Ideally, you want your dog's legs to kind of tuck underneath them when they do this. Good. Let's work on a down. Food on our dog's nose to a down, nice and slow. You can check out if your dog is straight here or they go to one side, right? That's just letting your dog letting you know that, you know, they're compensating a little. Like as their core gets stronger, they'll be able to be a little bit straighter. Treat on your dog's nose, come back up, good. We'll work our dogs into a stand. Excellent, good. Let's try a down from a stand. So you bring the food down, down, good. Good, and then we can try a stand from a down. So you can bring a piece of food on your dog's nose and move it up and forward. Good, into a stand. Awesome. Good, and then you can release your dog free. Good. Then you can use one treat to call your dog back over next to you and ask your dog to lay down on your mat. Down, TAO, down. TAO gets really excited for the food. The second I bring food out, it changes everything for her. Good, and then you can have a seat next to your dog. Good, you can praise your dog nice and calmly for a job well done. Good girl, TAO. Noticing if your dog is panting or if that excited your dog. right? When they use their core, it's work for them too, right? Our bodies, when we did our core exercise, boat pose, built heat, our heart rate picked up. The same goes for our dogs. So thank you all for practicing with us. We look forward to meeting you right back here for our next practice at TAO Dog Yoga.